Hey there, welcome to Hermit Haven. I'm Ashley.
And I'm Jackie. We're so excited to invite you into our safe space. Hermit Haven is like a cozy little hideout where we get to celebrate being confident in ourselves as we find happiness in quiet moments.
So grab your favorite blanket and your favorite drink, and let's dive into today's episode.
Hi, I'm Jackie. Welcome back to Hermit Haven.
Hi, I'm Ashley. We're so excited to have you this week. This week, we're going to be chit-chatting about how you use your time. We think that you can be a productive queen, but you're just not using your time correctly. I don't even think I use my time correctly sometimes. Sometimes I'll be like scrolling. I'll be like, I'm just going to watch one more video, and it's like 2 hours later, and I'm like, oh man, I could have like created content. I could have folded laundry. I don't know. I could have did something.
Yeah, I think this is the perfect season to start talking about time because with the holidays coming up and we're really busy and there's so many events and so many things to do and so many fun things to do that we want to do with the kids and like kids have stuff at school. There's just so much happening the end of the year. I think it's just the perfect season to start thinking about like how we're managing our priorities and fitting them into the time that we have because everyone has the same amount of time. It's just managing what you have to do to fit into the time that you need it to fit into. And we'll talk about this, but sometimes it means saying no to things or just kind of reevaluating what you typically say yes to and yeah, looking at your screen time and where like which apps and how much time you're spending on all the social media apps is a very eye-opening. And I'm always like, I haven't been on my phone very much lately. And then I'll go on my screen time and I'm like, all right. Never
Yeah.
mind.
It happens so much. So, and I feel like even if it's not like screen time, like I feel like when you're like, okay, I am going to prep food this week, and then you end up prepping like 4 breakfast items, and you're like, okay, well, like, what am I eating for lunch? Like, I feel like sometimes like you just put so much on your plate, and you're not prioritizing like what actually needs to be done now. I feel like sometimes it's just like the way you like schedule it. They're like, okay, well, if I do the dishes now, but I also have laundry, but then you start the dishes, and then your laundry is just like singing, and then you have like to wait longer. Like, so many times it's just like how you schedule your schedule. And I think we talk about this so many times in every other episode, right? It can be based on season, what's happening, it can be based on all these things, which we're gonna get like super down deep into the time rabbit hole right now. We're just kind of like talking about like how to prioritize things better and like maybe you need to look at your schedule, right? That's something you need to do for the next couple of days is like really look at your schedule and say, well, instead of sitting here scrolling down this TikTok deep hole, maybe I should make some videos or maybe I can text my aunt back, which I should definitely text my aunt back.
I think a lot
Whoops.
of people aren't really scheduling their time. Like, obviously, if you go to work, then you know that, like, during those hours, you're going to be at work. You have certain projects you're working on, and then you have to pick up kids. And, like, we have, like, kind of staple things that we have to do. I have to make dinner, I have to. And so we just don't, outside of the work time, we don't typically, like, most people aren't scheduling their days. And, and that's fine. Like, I know some people are like, I'm not a schedule person. I get it, but like, are you being super productive with your time? Maybe you need to become a schedule person, or maybe you're doing just fine without it and you have a different way that you're going to go about it. But I think it's super eye-opening if you're tracking, and I've seen a bunch of people talk about this online, like tracking their day, which I know sounds kind of annoying because it's kind of um, like when you're tracking your food and you have to like measure everything out, like an extra thing that you have to do. But if you really want to know what you're doing with all of your time, it is very eye opening when you write down every single thing that you do and how much time you're spending on it, or like even just the times. Like, okay, at 4:08, it's 4:08 here. We started the podcast, and then whenever we stop, like on to the next thing. Okay, well at blah blah blah, I started this, and just writing it all down, including the times that you're on your phone
I feel like
looking at your text message and whatever you're doing.
I feel like it's like a balance too, right? Like you want time to chill. You want time to like do the things you need to do, but like sometimes like too, I feel like you need to break up tasks. Like, right? Instead of like right now, like I'm in the process of making these sheet pan pancakes and all I got together so far is 2 cups of pancake mix and chocolate chips and cinnamon. But that's half the recipe. So now when I go back, I'm just gonna add the liquid ingredients, start the oven up, and there you go, right? I knew I didn't have time to make the entire recipe, but I knew, okay, well, I can either sit on my phone for 2 minutes or I can sit here for 2 minutes that I have and throw together the dry ingredients. So it'll be easier. Because here's the thing, I feel like I was a schedule person. Like I had like, okay, I'm gonna do this in this time block. I'm gonna do this in this time block. But now my time blocks look different. I have a child. And so like, and we're not the type of parents where we have like a stack schedule, like every day he naps at 12. Like we're just not like that because he wakes up at different times. Like we just kind of go with his cues. So because I know his naps can be anywhere between an hour maybe if I'm lucky to 2 hours if I'm lucky. Like so instead it's like, okay, how much can I get done during that nap time? And sometimes that nap time might be, okay, I just need to sit here and reset because if I don't reset, how am I going to move forward? And I think sometimes we have to realize that that's okay to use your time, but maybe your reset doesn't need to be an hour. Maybe your reset needs to be 10 minutes, right? And maybe it's just reading a couple pages of a book, right? Or whatever it is.
Yeah. I really struggle because if I'm being honest, everything seems like a priority to me. Like almost everything. Like I'll make a whole brain dump and I'm like, no, but I need to get all these things done. So then like how do you choose? And we're gonna talk about that in like the next couple episodes. There's gonna be times where we're gonna talk about like how to create time blocks and just some tips to make it easier if you're like that, where you're like, I have all these things I have to get done. Like there's just no way that I can, take extra time to go work out or take extra
Yeah.
time to whatever it is for you that you're probably not doing. And I get it, but there's a difference between being busy and prioritizing. And there's all sorts of things that I could fit into my time that isn't even scrolling. Like I could fit a jillion other things other than being on my phone into my time. But is that going to, in the end, make me happy? Is it going to make me happiest to like wipe my baseboards right now, or is it going to make me happiest to go for a walk and like help my mental health, my physical health, so it's just knowing yourself and what you really want to get out of it.
I agree. I think too, sometimes we like I feel like when I'm in the car, so I try to call my parents when I'm in the car. Like that's like the best time to call them. Like I don't have to like stop what I'm doing at home. I feel like to talk to them. Like I can just like drive and talk to them. But like I still want to listen to my music. So like I'll prioritize like 2, 3 minutes of music, talk to my
Yeah.
parents, 2, 3 minutes of music. Like I feel like sometimes that's what it looks like. Like we can't
Yeah.
have this like time where we get to sometimes do what we want to do for hours and hours, right? And if you need that, like that's the thing too. If you need that time, then you need to schedule that time. You need to say that is what my intentions for today is. This is what I'm doing. And I think sometimes that's what it is, right? These are your intentions for today. So instead of doing things that are not your intentions for today, how can I do that? I remember reading this book though that said sit down and literally like you were saying track your time and see what you're doing. So maybe in the car you're just listening to music, but you've been wanting to listen to a podcast and learn about how to, I don't know, market something or how to create something. So instead, maybe that's the great time to listen to the podcast. Or, you're watching cartoons, but you want it to learn something else. So put that on YouTube. That's what I do, at least. I put stuff on YouTube while I'm cleaning. And I'll
Oh,
catch something. I'll catch like a little niblet of something. I'm like, oh, that's a good tip. Right.
yeah.
But I feel like as a nanny and a babysitter, it's all the way you use your time is so important. So like especially now with like so I bring Ari with me and I have 2 children I'm nannying with Ari. And I got Ari down for a nap. And the youngest one, like he's able to kind of play by himself sometimes. Like he'll go and play by himself. Like I'm not like go play by yourself. Like he literally will go play by himself. And so I'm like, okay, well, I should probably go prep lunch because I know when it's lunchtime and I'm trying to prep lunch, I don't know if Ari's gonna be still sleeping. These 2 kids might, the 2 boys might be like busy trying to like get my attention. Like this is the perfect time to go do it. So no, even though I would even though I could, do something else right now, like maybe clean up something else, lunch is going to be the hardest thing. So let me use my time right now while everyone's quiet in the house to create the lunch and get it ready. And that makes more sense than maybe wash the one plate.
Yeah. It's I'm not gonna lie, it is really hard for me too. I work on this all the time. And for me, I know you kind of made a good point. Like, I don't know if you were like saying this or if this is just how I interpret it, but if I don't have enough time, if I'm like, okay, I want to do a 40-minute workout. I don't know, I always use working out because it's just easiest, something I do every day. I want to do a 40-minute workout. Oh, I don't have a 40-minute chunk of time. Therefore, I'm not going to work out today. Like that's what I literally do to myself. And I had to really rearrange that in my head, or like meal prepping. That can take a lot of time. I don't have enough time to meal prep at a huge chunk of time. Therefore, I'm just not going to do it. Well, maybe we split that up. Maybe I do 10 or 4 10-minute sessions of working out during the day, like literally here in my bedroom. Like I'll do some squats, whatever I can get done in 10 minutes, go off and do whatever I have to do. I mean, it's hard for me to have those big chunks of time. That's a huge barrier for me. And it's
Mhm.
easy for me to be like, oh, never mind, and do something else when really I need to be prioritizing that thing, you know?
I feel like too, like we do this. Okay, so like all the time, like growing up, I always like my parents always would like go somewhere. Like let's say I work at like 3 o'clock, my parents would be like, "Okay, we're waking up at like 7. We're gonna go to another city that's like 4 hours away." And I'm like in my head, I'm like, "But I have work at 3, right?" Like my brain is like freaking out. We still did it. Like we went to another city, did this whole thing, and I think so many times that's like you're saying, like that's what happens. I think this is like what this episode's really about is right. Is besides trying to like prioritize stuff, like making time for things even when it feels like you don't have time. Like I feel like we get in this like mental block where we're like, well, I can't do it like you said because I don't have enough time. But like if you really wanted to do it, you would. You just are making excuses and you're using time as your excuse because and it's crazy to think children don't understand time. So for children, like we think, oh, 3 hours is like not enough time. In reality, for 3 hours can feel like 6 hours to a child. So like maybe we need to stop looking at time, right? Like we're like we have to follow a schedule. We have to be here, there, da no 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 no. Like maybe that's the thing too, is like look at your time, go through it, but then say, how do I like take a moment not to look at time?
That really makes me giggle because whenever the boys are doing something, I'm always like, okay, we have 5 more minutes. And Pierce is 4, so he doesn't even understand time really. And so he'll be doing something, he's like, oh, 3 more minutes. And he thinks 3 minutes is like forever. Like he doesn't even understand. And so it's just funny because I'm always like, to them, 3 minutes is like, woo, that's amazing. And to me, I'm like, I can't get anything done in 3 minutes, like,
You know
I
this
don't know.
there's a saying I had it on my so I had this like little post-it notes in my bedroom at my parents' house and it said, if it takes less than 2 minutes, just do it. I feel like that
Yeah.
should be just like the motto. Like if it takes less than 2 minutes, just do it. And I know that sounds hard because sometimes you don't have the 2 minutes, but like if you have those 2 minutes, just do it. Like and with children, the way I teach time, actually, so especially with that younger age, is I tell them to count it. So if you count 60 this many times, we're going to clean up. If you count 60 this many times, we're going to clean up. But it's crazy to think though, like, okay, well, like, I know I'm just going on like a random, like, I feel like I'm just going on a million random topics here. But if you go to a casino, there is no windows, there is no clocks, there's no time. Like, you don't know what time it is. You're like in a whole nother world. Right. And so imagine if you didn't have time, how much you would get done. Probably not that much. You probably would like end up doing the same task for 40 hours, but maybe that's what you need. Maybe you need to like time block the half a day and be like, all right, I'm going to clean my house and not look at any clocks. And I'm going to put an alarm.
Yeah.
And when that alarm goes off, we're done.
I read that Ed Milet book like a few times. I really love it. I actually am still like writing all sorts of notes from it in my notebook. But he talks, and we'll talk about this in another episode because this isn't really about like how to do it yet. Like we'll talk about that, about some
Mhm.
tips that we have. But he does 3 days in one day. And he talks in the book, there's a whole chapter on time, and he talks about how like time is just something that we created. Like we created these blocks, but really like you could get so much more done than you need to. And granted, like there are times when you just want to sit and scroll, and that's okay. Like we're not saying like don't do any of that stuff, but I just know like so many people say like I just don't have time, and I'm like, well, but you do have the time. It's just that you're doing other stuff in it. So sitting down and making a list of your priorities is like number one. What are the things that I know I need to get done every day? Or maybe you write down each day of the week and you have like, these are the things I have to get done each day, so then all the other time that there is, like, I can be doing other things. I can still watch my show at the end of the day while I do my workout, maybe, like sometimes your habit stacking. But yeah, I think just knowing like what your priorities are is the biggest gift that you can give yourself. And I hate to say it, but like other people aren't going to be, shouldn't be one of, besides your family, other people shouldn't necessarily be one of those priorities because this is your life. This is the only one that you get. And I know it's fun to go out with friends. I know it's fun to go like do play dates and stuff. And I hate saying no. But even today, I was telling Glenn, like his mom yesterday was like, "Hey, do you want to bring the boys over?" And I was telling him, like, I'm going to be cooking muffins for the book club. I'm going to the book club tonight. And like, I was making turkey chili. He's like, "Why did you say yes to all these things though?" And I was like, "Well, I don't know. I don't like saying no." And yeah, and I'm okay, but I definitely could have stressed myself out pretty easily there. So, it's just really knowing like what you really need to be saying yes to and not saying yes to everything.
Yeah. Is it, like, worth your energy? Is it worth your time? And again, it's about using your time wisely. Say, like, maybe make a list. We'll talk more about this in the next episode, but making those lists right now, like, I think this is, like, if we had to finalize, like, what this episode, like, something homework almost or something to do as self-care, because all our homework is self-care, but sit down and think about, like, how you use your time, like, right? Maybe make a list or actually sit there and track it. So, at 2 o'clock, I scrolled for 20 minutes and 3 o'clock, I had a bite to eat. And then I scrolled for another 30 minutes. Well, now you scrolled for 50 minutes. You could have edit your content. You could have made a grocery list. You could have meal prepped. You could have wrote a journal entry. Like, right. And I think that's the thing too is okay, so make that time list and then we'll go from there. But then it's comparing, okay, what I'm doing, what I want to do.
I love making, sometimes I sit down and make like my ideal day. If time was not an issue and like money and everything else, like no, there were no issues, what would my ideal day look like? And I think that tells volumes about what your priorities actually are. Because in my
Mhm.
ideal day, like I'm doing an art project, I'm doing a workout, like I'm hanging out with the boys, where like I'm having time with Glenn, like I'm doing all these things. Well, that clearly tells me what my priorities are in my ideal day. So I think that if sitting down making a list is hard, like think about what your ideal day would be and then read through it and pick out the things that you see as a priority in your life. Those are the things that you want to make time for
Yeah.
and, look at everything else. Yeah.
Something I used to do, and I sort of still kind of try to get back to it, is like have an intention for the day. And then each intention might have like 15 tasks in it. So if like you're cleaning your house, like it's not just wiping the floor, wiping the counters, it's all these different tasks. So then like throughout the day when you have like, you can think about, okay, well, I have a minute. Maybe I'll clean the toilet right now because that's the quickest, right? And then maybe like 10 minutes later, you're like, all right, well, I have 2 more minutes. Maybe I'll Windex the windows now. All right. So like by the end of the day, my intention were to clean the house. So that's the only task I'm going to think about right now is cleaning the house. Or like today, my intentions are to reset my house and prep for the week ahead. Right. So things I like to do today is just like try to think about what I want for breakfasts, lunches, dinners next week. Try to prep, snacks. I like to over snack myself on Monday so I could just eat throughout my lunchbox throughout the week. So I'm not creating and adding more snacks throughout the week. Like whatever I have is what I have. So if I eat all on Monday, that's all I have, right? Kind of thing. But I'm saving time, right? So maybe that's also how you think about it, right? Does it take me maybe 30 extra seconds to cut an extra pepper but I can now use that pepper for snacks, right? Is that besides dinner tonight? So I think throughout this week, think about when you're doing a task, how can I double down this task? How can I do this task differently? How can I, right? Is there a better time to do this task, right? Maybe instead of like trying to cook dinner while your child's doing homework and your child's asking for help and you're getting overwhelmed, which happens as a nanny sometimes. So like I get it, right? Like you're just trying to do all the things, right? And maybe that's not the best time to cook dinner then. Or maybe that's not the best time like to set your child up for homework, right? Maybe instead that's a great time to say to your child, it's time for you to go read by yourself or whatever it is, right? So I think like really this week, think about when you're doing a task and think about how you're feeling. I feel like so many times your body and your like thoughts are telling you like, is this appropriate amount of time? Like, is this okay? Right. And sometimes we have to work on it. So like I was saying earlier, like I remember I used to like, okay, so King's Dominion is like my home theme park. And I would go to King's Dominion. It's a 35-minute drive. And I would drive there. And I had 2 hours to drive there, drive back, and ride rides. And I would go and do it. And I would be nervous at first, right? I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be late for work, this, that, and the third. But I just one day just said, okay, I'm just going to drive there. If I still feel nervous, I'll drive home, right? And then it just kept going until the point where, right? So really think about your feelings when you're doing the things, right? How do you connect with it, right? Maybe it's something you need to work on. So maybe this is not something we're going to do today because it's just not giving you, and we want you to feel happy when you're doing your stuff, right? But maybe you're feeling overwhelmed when you're trying to do 2 tasks at once. So how can you separate these tasks? So,
Yeah.
but
Breaking up a task into mini tasks is huge. It
mhm,
makes it so much more, like, doable. Yeah, I have to do that, like, every day for my life, so
literally, I feel like that's
yeah, I
just my
think this was
brain.
great. Yeah, for real. I have all sorts of, yeah, I've been working on task management for my entire life. People think that I'm very organized, but it's just because I've done so much research and worked on it so hard to be able and it's ever changing, which is the hardest part. It's ever changing, but with life. But yeah. But I'm excited to continue to talk about time because it's like one of my favorite subjects. It's a
Same.
passion of mine. So,
Same. I love it. I think we can learn a lot from it because we're opening up about like our ideas around it. And especially, so I'm excited. So this episode, like we said, we really want you just to get an idea of how you're using your time, what you're doing with your time, what can you do with your time more wisely, how you want your time to look even. And then the next episode, we're really going to talk about glowing, like giving your time a glow up, like making your schedule work for you, making this work, right? Whatever it is that you're trying to make work. And we love and I feel like we need this too because we're entering that season. So we love you all. We hope you have a good week. If you enjoyed this episode, let us know. If you want us to talk about something about time, let us know, message us, leave us a comment, send this to a friend, all the good things. Make sure you're signing up for our emails because we have something special coming up in the next few episodes that are going to be through our emails. So we just have so much coming up too. And we're just excited for the next cozy episode every Wednesday. We'll see you back there. We try to release these episodes early in the morning, and we usually post it and email you later in the night. So definitely check Wednesday morning and you will see this is ready for you. We love you.
love you.
Bye.
Thanks for spending time with us today and being part of our Hermit Haven community.
We hope you enjoyed our cozy chat and are inspired to embrace your inner hermit.
Remember, even in the quiet moments, you're never alone on this journey because we are truly all in this together.
So until next time, stay cozy, stay true to yourself, and keep spreading love wherever you go.
Bye for now.
We'll see you next time.